very good morning and happy Diwali to all the viewers of Q News English with me, Vijay Rana and Deepak from our studios out here in Bangalore. So had a sleepless night yesterday as I traveled to a temple, Hasna Ambika temple that opens on the eve of Diwali, and it stays open for 1 week only throughout the year. And also the tradition says there is a lamp that is lit up on Diwali, and it's locked. After a week the doors are locked with a grain with some rice kept there, 2 bags of rice also are kept besides it, and then the temple remains closed throughout the year, but the lamp remains lit and even the rice is as it is, and then it is distributed as a prasadam. So I was out there along with my colleagues. Deepak was also there, and we just came back and I'm here in front of all of you. So very happy Deepavali yet again from our side, from our studios out here in Bangalore, Karnataka. And moving on, what do we have here? We have the first picture wherein 22 lakh diyas, that's the way Modi ji or our Prime Minister, he celebrates his Diwali in style. So 22 lakh diyas were lit up in Varanasi. Is it Varanasi? Ayodhya, I'm sorry. There was Deepotsav that was celebrated by lighting 22 lakh diyas, and that actually really, it's a big boost for the potters who actually make these diyas. So definitely a profit making opportunity for them, and also a lot of fireworks, that's what we can see. But he was also present during the day. He spent his day with his soldiers at the border guarding our nation, our country, which makes us, it gives us the opportunity. They are the ones who actually safeguard us from the enemy, and we are here celebrating the Diwali. We owe a big thank you to them. So that's what Prime Minister has been doing, and he visits the Jawans at the border, and here he is holding the Indian flag high. So that's another feature that makes him such a popular leader across the globe. Not only within India, but across the globe. Who would do that? He's the Prime Minister, and on the eve of Diwali, he is celebrating it with the Jawans out there at the border, and he's very much there. Prime Minister Narendra Modi during Diwali celebration with armed forces at Lepcha, Himachal Pradesh on Sunday. So he was at Lepcha, Himachal Pradesh, and it's the border area bordering with China, and that's where he was. And moving on, we have Hamas war, and India backs UN resolution. So last time we read this news, so India did not participate in the voting, but this time India backs the UN resolution because it proposes a two-nation theory. So in totality, India has voted in favor of having a Palestine, and let's see what it says. India, aligning with 145 other nations, supported a resolution at the UN General Assembly condemning Israel's settlement activities in the occupied Palestinian territory. So Gaza is also that territory, and it belonged to Palestine once upon a time, but then after the attack from Palestine, in fact, they occupied the territory Gaza and a part of Jerusalem as well. So that was the bone of contention. And while I come back to the news, let's also say hello to our friends out there. And all right, so we have Funny Shekhar. Have a great day. Love watching your channel. Thank you so much, Funny. Appreciate it. Telangana police with BRS party. All right. And Naveen Kota is out there. He says, here is a Shairi, and Sri Devi Goli is also there with us. And what Naveen has to say is, he says in Hindi, कहने को कहीं राज दफन है. It's not कहीं, कहने को कई राज दफन है इस सीने में. अब अल्फाज कम पड़ गए. By that what he means is there are a lot of secrets that I have to share, but I do not have the words, and I'm falling short of words to share my thoughts. So in simple, that's a simple translation. Remembering 1790. All right, Melkote. What was that about? 1790. Let's see. Let's have a quick look. He has to say something. It was 1790. What is it about? So all right. So that was a temple. Okay. And what happened there in 17? So Diwali is not celebrated out there. So that's something that that's for me to read. So Diwali is not celebrated in Melkote because of historical massacre that took place on the day of Diwali in 1970. The Mandayam Iyengar community of Melkote was attacked by the army of Tipu Sultan, the ruler of Mysore. So owing to this, thank you so much, Naveen. In fact, I must appreciate the kind of knowledge that you have been sharing with us, and it gives me an opportunity. Good that I was not aware of this. This comes to me as a good knowledge as well. So the Iyengar community does not celebrate Diwali owing to this massacre that was conducted on the eve of Diwali in 1790 by none other than Tipu Sultan, and he also ruled Mysore. Today, I have traveled to Mysore, and there is a lot of decorations that happen out there, but a lot of festivals are celebrated, but then Melkote will not be celebrating it owing to this massacre. And I would love to read more about this. What is Melkote famous for? It's an important pilgrimage for Hindus. The town is home for Shalvu Narayana temple, which is dedicated to Lord Vishnu, and it's considered to be one of the most important Vaishnavite temples in southern part of India and South India. So there have been a lot. We go to Mysore Palace also. There we have Tipu Sultan built the Mysore Palace, and it's worth watching it. That's one of the historical sites that we do watch, but there is a lot of history still that I need to read about. Yes, thank you so much, Naveen, out there, for bringing that to our notice. So India is backing the formation of Palestine. In fact, India wants Israel to give back the land to Palestine, and I don't think so that is going to happen. And Netanyahu, on the other hand, vows to defeat Hamas. So Netanyahu, in fact, Israel does not have anything against Palestinians, but then yes, if they attack Israel, Israel will retaliate. So that's what he says, and Hamas was the entity that actually initiated this attack over Israel, and Israel, Netanyahu says, he vows to defeat Hamas, hitting back at the global criticism over civilian deaths in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu reiterated his vow to defeat Hamas, pledging to stand firm against the world if necessary. So he says, सारी दुनिया से लड़ जाएंगे but बदला लेके रहेंगे. So he is ready to fight against, if the entire world also comes together, he is still not going to go down. He is going to defeat Hamas. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant and Minister Benny Gantz urged the Western leaders to throw their support behind the Jewish state, stating that its victory would mean victory for the entire free world as well. So he wants every country to support them against the terror attack that was perpetrated. He also indicated that Israel would oppose the return of Palestinian Authority to Gaza following the war. The pushback comes after several countries over the weekend expressed concerns over deteriorating humanitarian situation and the civilian casualties in the Strip. So a lot of civilians are also being killed out there, owing to which a lot of countries, have urged Israel to stop, the bombarding, because a lot of civilians are also dying. So although Hamas leaders are also, their life is also being ended. But on the other hand, we have Russia ramps up attack on key cities in Ukraine. So on one hand, while India has been celebrating Diwali, India has been, celebrating its victory in the World Cup, the 9th consecutive victory. On the other hand, we have Russia ramping up attack on key cities in Ukraine. We have Israel, pushing the Hamas further back. Now, Russian forces have intensified their assaults in eastern Ukraine with the aim of gaining ground near two crucial frontline cities, according to Ukrainian military officials on Sunday. The head of Ukraine's ground forces, writing on the Telegram messaging app, revealed that Moscow's troops are pushing to regain territory near Bakhmut, the eastern mining city that witnessed the bloodiest battle of the war before falling into Russian hands in May. And Ukrainian forces had managed to recapture heights over Bakhmut and make some advances to the city's west, north and south during Kiev's summer counter-offensive. So the war still goes on more than a year and a half, but Ukraine is also defending itself. The Russians have now become more active in their attempts to recapture previously lost positions near Bakhmut. Colonel General Alexander Syryatsky stated in a Sunday afternoon telegram update, enemy attacks are being repelled. Ukraine's counter-offensive, though long awaited, has yielded only incremental gains and significant losses. Ukrainian troops have struggled to break through Russian lines in the south, while Moscow forces aim to advance in the northeast district Kiev and reduce the number of troops available for key southern and eastern battles. So a lot of battles going on at different fronts out there in Russia. And on the other hand, we have Canada lashing out at India as well. We all remember a couple of months ago, a terrorist, or in fact in the month of May, I believe, Niger was killed, who was a terrorist, and the Prime Minister Trudeau actually said, the Canadian Prime Minister said, Indian forces are behind the killing of this terrorist on Canadian soil. That's what he had alleged. India has been asking for a proof, but none has been provided yet. But they now say, and India, as a countermeasure, India actually stopped the visas for Canadians, and also India asked more than 40 of the delegates to be sent back to Canada. The Canadian delegates were sent back because there had to be parity. That's what they had told. There was no parity. There were 20 diplomats of India in Canada, but the number of Canadian diplomats was more than 60. So they wanted parity, owing to which more than 40 diplomats were asked to leave India. That is what they are referring to it over here. And they say India breached the Vienna Convention. So according to Vienna Convention, parity is not mentioned anywhere, and India did not follow the Vienna Convention. That's what they have to say. And they also, Justin Trudeau also reiterated his claim of Indian involvement in killing of 6 separatist leaders. I would not call 6 separatist leader. It is actually the terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar on Canadian soil. He was a criminal out here in India who made his way to Canada. He was an illegal immigrant out there, and then he took on, he joined hands with these forces out there, the terrorist group, and let's see what happened further, and he was killed. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Sunday accused New Delhi of breaching the Vienna Convention. Trudeau asserted that India's expulsion of 40 diplomats occurred at a time when Canada sought cooperation from various global partners, including India, to investigate the murder. Now, what kind of support did you need, and what support did India not give? That is not mentioned anywhere. India is willing to support, and India clearly denied we had no hand in doing this. We are a peaceful country, and we will not, there is a sanctity that needs to be respected. Every country's sovereignty needs to be respected, and India did that. That's what India's claim has been so far, and there have been no proofs to prove India wrong, but only allegations. So that's what Justin Trudeau has been doing, and I personally believe he's doing so because he needs to appease the minority out there, and there is a huge vote bank owing to which he's actually, the Sikh votes that he's actually aspiring to, get in his favor. And then let's move on. And Delhi, as we were reading, 40 trapped in tunnel collapse. A section of under construction tunnel between Silkyara and Dadla Gaon on the Brahmakal Yamunotri National Highway collapsed on Sunday. Is that in Uttarakhand, Deepak? Alright, yeah, Deepak is from Uttarakhand and he's acknowledging that is very much there. So there is a tunnel that collapsed and 40 workers were trapped inside. So the rescue operations are on, and hopefully, they should be saved. And 4 of a family killed in a tragic incident. 4 members of a family were stabbed to death by an unidentified assailant in Karnataka's Kemmannu of Udupi district. According to the police officials, a masked man forcibly entered the house and brutally attacked the woman identified as Hasina and her 3 children aged 23, 21 and 12. Another woman was seriously injured in the attack. According to sources, the victim's husband is working in the Gulf. So, that's another tragedy. 4 of a family killed. So really sad. The husband is out there in Gulf, earning the bread and butter for his family. But whereas out here in India, all his family members have been killed. So really sad. And drugs worth rupees 42 crore seized. A team of Assam Rifles and Mizoram Police seized 15.9 kg of methamphetamine tablets worth rupees 42 crores. Is that something that we saw in that movie? I don't know. It sounded like that. There was a movie of Kamala Hassan. What was the name? Vikram. So we saw in that there was some drugs, and it was worth hundreds of crores. So is it something like that? I don't know what it does, but definitely it's a drug, and it was seized from northeast Mizoram. However, the person who possessed the contraband, however, fled from the spot, he said. Acting on a tip-off, the joint team seized the stimulant drug on Friday. The officials said further investigation is underway. And also, every time when it is the winter, especially when the wheat, is cultivated and it's cut, so harvesting is done. So for what farmers out there in Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, what they do is they light up the, the hay, and they burn it down basically in the fields itself. And it also acts as manure for the forthcoming crop that they have to cultivate. Owing to which there is a lot of air pollution, and the Delhi is the territory that faces a lot of issues. The pollution, actually the air quality reduces considerably. So every year this used to be the story, and this year also it was nothing different. But this time around there was a rain that happened, and owing to which everything, Delhi celebrated Diwali with a breath of fresh air this year, recording its best air quality in 8 years on Sunday. Despite concerns about potential pollution from firecrackers and low night temperatures, residents enjoyed clear skies and abundant sunshine. The 24-hour average air quality index at 4 p.m. stood at 218, marking the best air quality in the last 3 weeks. In contrast to last year's Diwali saw an AIQ of 312. So a lot of numbers out there when it comes to the air quality index, and this time it was the best in last 8 years. So good news for the people from Delhi. But then we need to take care of this. This prevention is better than cure. That's what needs to be followed over here. And reduce jail for death by negligence. And what do we mean by this? Reduce jail for death by negligence. So if any death that happens by negligence, the term should be reduced. There was a punishment that was given, let's say a punishment of 7 years or 10 years was given. So the urge is now to, the request now is to reduce it by X number of years. So let's go through it now. A parliamentary committee has suggested that the proposed new criminal law, which prescribes a 7-year imprisonment for causing death by negligence, is deemed high and should be revised to a 5-year term. So if a death is caused by negligence, the term that was proposed was for 7 years, and now the request is please reduce it to 5 years. And also let's come back to the political arena. India, 5 states in India are also poll bound, owing to which we have different parties, be it Congress, be it BJP, in Telangana, be it BRS, they are lashing out at each other. They are just lashing out. And what do we have here? We have Bhupesh Baghel says, inflation rising due to Modi government, says Baghel. So let's see what he has to say. The Congress on Sunday held the Narendra Modi government responsible for perpetrated surge in the inflation and unemployment, emphasizing its commitment to elevating financial burdens through the announcement of annual financial aid of 15,000 for women in Chandigarh. Now there was, for women there is already this financial aid of I think 13,000. That's what is given. 12,000. It was 12,000. It will be increased to 15,000 in Chhattisgarh. And Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel declared that the Congress, if re-elected in Chhattisgarh, would provide women with this annual financial assistance. So a lot of money being provided, financial assistance is being provided, but 15,000 rupees an year, that is nearly, just slightly more than 1,300. And let's see, Russia ramps up the attack. Prime Minister Modi on the borders in Himachal, and MLA attacked during Congress BRS workers clash. In Achampet town of Nagar Karnool district, a clash erupted between workers of the ruling BRS party and Congress, resulting in an alleged attack on BRS MLA G. Balaraju, who is contesting from the Achampet constituency in the upcoming November 30 polls, as per the police reports on Sunday. And we have, what more we have? World Cup, India finishes 9-0, 2 more to go. So will India clinch the World Cup this time? The team looks undefeatable. They are, going great guns, and Indian bowlers had a relatively easy task to dismissing the Dutch for 250 only, and they made a whooping 410 runs. Even Kohli and Rohit contributing to the wickets column. So the target was that was given to the Dutch or the Ireland team was 410 runs. So Indians thought, Virat Kohli also took the ball, and he wanted to bowl as well, and he took a wicket also along with Rohit Sharma. So both of them, and what a splendid performance out there by KL Rahul, and he was supported by Shreyas Iyer. And KL Rahul's record-breaking century, the fastest by an Indian in a World Cup, and Shreyas Iyer's confidence boosting 128 illuminated Diwali day as India convincingly defeated the Netherlands by 160 runs on Sunday, securing their 9th consecutive victory. What a splendid performance. And with that, people, let's see what other people have to say. We have Selva Rajan joining us along with the Satyam and Lakshmi Narayana, all of them, and KS Raj, Srinivas with Sushant Patel. Everybody is wishing us a very good morning, and a very good morning to all of you as well. And we had Melkote here cited by Naveen. So Naveen, anything else that you would like to add apart from just giving us that insight? Please do share that. It was very informative and it gave me a food for thought as well. So I'll go through that article yet again. And also, let's move on to the Deccan Chronicle now. In fact, before I go to Deccan Chronicle, there was a small chat column also that I wanted to read. And let's see what Deccan Chronicle has to offer. Is there a paper today? We don't have a Deccan Chronicle today. Let me try it yet again. Alright, I think it's not there. Oh, there is no newspaper printed. We have only Shanarthi Telangana, and I have my beautiful audiences out there with us. So people, anybody wants to say anything before I move on to this column, the short one that I love to read. Let's see who all are featured here. We have Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Arvind Kejriwal, along with Bala Gopal. And what Bala Gopal from Kerala has to say, let's see, the BJP ruled centre is being highly discriminatory towards opposition ruled states, including Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, in financial matters. And one of them, the most discrimination is being faced by Kerala. We are exploring legal remedies against this action of the centre. Now they say, since these states are ruled by non-BJP parties, be it Congress or be it AIDMK or be it other parties. So he says the center is very discriminatory. They are discriminating. Basically, what happens is center allocates funds to states as and when required or when the need arises. Owing to which he says Kerala does not get that aid, or the taxes that they pay are on the higher side. So there are a lot of things that happen. There are a lot of transactions that happen between the state and the center. So owing to which, that is the comment for. Now what Arvind Kejriwal has to say now, this is the festival of lights. I request all of you to light lamps instead of firecrackers on this auspicious day. Illuminate your house with the light and welcome Lord Sri Ram. People to avoid bursting firecrackers as the air quality has dipped to severe plus category. And also he is now urging the public of Delhi and NCR not to burn firecrackers so that the air quality index can actually be improved. Also, we have Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India is protected till the time my brave hearts are standing on the borders. Now he is addressing the Jawans, and he is referring to the Jawans out here who are the army men who are protecting our land. And unflinching as the Himalayas, these brave hearts, the army personnel, fought so many wars and won the country's heart. Our Jawans have snatched victory in the face of challenges. So despite all the challenges, the Indian Jawans, barring one war with China, India has never lost any war. India was, we did lose a war with China. That was very, very difficult situation back then. and we had to lose a lot of territory also, people. China did occupy our territory, and finally I think Prime Minister Nehru was the one who was leading India back then, and he said, do not occupy any further land. Whatever you have occupied belongs to you. Please do not encroach any further. So that's where it ended. And reduce jail, we are done with that. Inflation. Women voters exceed men in Telangana. In Telangana, it's very important to have these numbers apart from the BCs who are, whose number is the highest in the state. We also have the stats out here which says women voters exceed men in Telangana. So in Telangana, where assembly elections are slated, if that is the case, then I must say BRS has done their homework, because the kind of schemes that they have launched, and even Congress, every party has done their homework basically, and they cater to the women of the state as well. So now they are giving the gas for a low, although it's beneficial for men as well, but primarily, that's what the mindset is, that, the women are the ones in charge of the kitchen, but that's not the case. I prepare better food, in the kitchen, like I feel so. So, the electoral gender ratio, which stood at 998 last month and 992 on 5th January this year, has now improved to 1000.2. According to the electoral roll finalized by the Chief Electoral Officer. So that's the news. And what else do we have here? That's it. So I think we covered the entire Shanarthi Telangana, and we have Vishal along with Malga Ramesh joining us. And another one, it's a drop of blood. So a lot of bloodshed that was done. And we have Naveen Kota suggesting to go through Darfur Sudan. So let's see Darfur Sudan. That's what he has to tell us. So let's have a quick look. And let's see if we get any insights. I'm not aware of this as well. So this is the first. I'm not prepared on this. But we will go through this. The Darfur conflict and war in Darfur. Situation in Darfur, redirect here. And the war in Darfur, also nicknamed as the Land Cruiser War. That's how it's nicknamed. The Land Cruiser War was a major armed conflict in Darfur region of Sudan that began in February 2003, when the Sudan Liberation Movement and the Justice and Equality Movement rebel groups began fighting against the government of Sudan, and which they accused of oppressing Darfur's non-Arab population. The government responded to the attacks by carrying out campaign of ethnic cleansing against the Darfur's non-Arabs. So the non-Arabs, anybody who is not an Arab was to be eliminated. So it was the bloodiest war, I think, at that point in time. And the ethnic cleansing campaign was started. Nobody apart from their religion should survive. That was the intent. This resulted in death of hundreds of thousands of civilians, and the indictment of Sudan's President Omar al-Bashir for genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity by the International Criminal Court. So now this is what happened, and something on the similar lines is all I would say. There cannot be any similarity between these two situations. What is happening is between Israel and not Palestine, I would say, but yes, the territory belongs to Palestine. It's actually a war between a terrorist group and an entire nation, Israel, versus Hamas. That is what is happening out here. But the casualties, the kind of the number of civilians who are actually dying can be related to this. But it's not an attempt to cleanse, it's not an ethnic cleansing that is happening out there. It's a retaliation that is happening. So there cannot be, these two cannot be, compared. Now, the International Criminal Court actually accused Omar al-Bashir uh, for genocide, war crimes and crime against humanity. One side of the conflict is mainly composed of Sudanese military, police and the uh, Janjaweed, a Sudanese militia group whose members are mostly recruited amongst Azerbaijan indigenous Africans and a small number of Bedouin of the northern Rezigar. The majority of other Arab groups in Darfur remained uninvolved. The other side is made up of rebel groups, notably SLM. So there were rebel groups, it was internal rebellion that was happening by non-Arabs. The non-Arab groups were actually retaliating, and they were, dealt with force and brutal force out there. And let's see. The Sudanese government and the JEM signed a ceasefire agreement in February 2010, and this started in 2003, and ceasefire was observed in 2010, 7 years. So this continued for 7 years. The JEM has the most to gain from the talks and could see semi-autonomy, much like South Sudan. However, talks were disrupted by accusations that the Sudanese army launched raids and airstrikes against a village, violating the Tolu agreement. The JEM, the largest rebel group in Darfur, vowed to boycott the negotiations. And then in August 2019, a declaration was signed by military and civilian representatives during the Sudanese revolution. So a lot going on there in Sudan as well, that was brought up by none other than one of our esteemed subscribers, Naveen Kota. 800 killed in single village on November 8, 2023. That's the latest one. And Chandra Mohan says, I like your honest news. Chandrasekhar, and we also have Deva Reddy. Yes, I need to be honest, and there is no need for me to be biased. If Congress is doing something good, I will definitely highlight that. If BJP is doing something good, I would love to highlight that. And if BRS launches a successful scheme and it is catering to people of Telangana, I would bring that out as well. And if from Congress, if Bhupesh Baghel is doing wonderful job in Chhattisgarh, I would love to highlight that. If our own Chief Minister out here in Karnataka, Siddaramaiah, is providing us electricity 24/7, I would love to bring that to your notice. But if someone says he does not, it's a complete lie. So and I don't have any reasons to be dishonest about news. It's printed out there, and more than news, I think I end up sharing information more than news. So for example, we have Naveen Kota here, who shared 2 things with us which I was not aware of. So he actually introduced us to that. Now that gives me an opportunity to read more about different issues prevailing in different countries. For example, Sudan, which has not been in limelight, and I'm surprised, none of the newspapers actually cover what happened. Now we don't know what is happening out there in Mizoram. Last news we read about was about the record turnout for voting. 80% was the turnout. So that's what we read about it. We never see a resolution for the issues that were prevailing back then, and there was a lot of violence that happened, and a lot of atrocities were also committed. So what happened to it after that? I don't see a follow-up news in any of the newspapers. The news is replaced. It is not followed upon because people lose interest. If we keep talking about Israel and Hamas every day we keep talking about the same thing because the reason remains the same. So people get bored of it, and for the people, the news changes. The news is replaced. And similarly, this is what happened with Russia, and we don't see them anymore in news, and Deccan Chronicle was not published owing to the holiday yesterday. So that brings us I think to the conclusion for today, and people Well, that will be all from our studios out here in Bangalore. Looking forward to meet you again tomorrow morning, and please do not forget to hit that like button if you are new. Please do share the channel as well, and please subscribe if you have not done that already. And well, with that, thank you so much. I wish you all a very, very happy Diwali yet again, and I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, Jai Hind.